All right, today's demo is going to be recorded in front of a live studio audience. I'm actually doing this live with my second period, seventh grade class. So here we go. You can see that I've got my screen set up like I had it yesterday in the activity we did yesterday. So I've made a sprite right here. I made a little astronaut. He's kind of standing there, and I've got it set to where if I push the A button, woo, a little fire comes out of his jetpack because every astronaut needs a jetpack, even though they don't really have jetpacks that fire come out of. But still, this is a video game. It's fun. All right, so you're losing some of the black outline. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting a background in to our environment. Yesterday, we just made a sprite that was animated. Today, we're going to take it a little bit further. Whoops, I go to scene for that, and we're going to say you can set a background image. You could do tile. You do this kind of thing. I'm actually going to set a background color, and we're going to drag this in right here. And then we're going to call our color, let's see about this gray here. Let's see how this looks. It doesn't look very gray, does it? Okay, I'm going to try a different color. Let's go for I like this kind of weird space purple. I'll call it space purple. There you go. Now you can see my guy. And by the way, you can't, yeah, I'm moving him again. I've got it set to move with buttons. And so he's right there. But now we've got a sprite. We want our sprite to interact with our environment. So we're going to create something for him to interact with. So I'm going to go to scene, and we are going to say set tile map. This is where we start making sprites that are actually part of the environment for it to work with. So I'm going to say set tile map. Now when you come in here, you'll see, yeah, there's some preset ones like this forest here. There's aquatic, dungeon, miscellaneous. There's some rocks and things like that. But we don't want to do that because we're making all of our stuff from scratch, right? Because that's how we are. Now, I've already made a couple right here that you can see in my tiles, but I'm going to make one with you guys. So here's what we do. We're going to push the plus button right here, and this takes you to your familiar little screen, and this is going to let us make our tiles. So I'm going to use the pen tool, and I'm going to go ahead. And by the way, you want to fill the whole square because let's say he was going to land on top of whatever I'm making right here. If that was blank, then it'll be transparent, and he'll be floating above it. You can always put transparency in there if you want to look like that with your environment. But for the most part, you want to go all the way with this. I'm going to go to the fill tool here, turn that into a dark purple, and let's put some little specks of, texture, whatever that is. There's always texture in space. Let's see. I don't know what that means. All right. So I made a little tile. I'm going to push done. Boom. There's my tile. Looks kind of like that. Now I can make more tiles. I make different tiles and make it look a little different or whatnot. But now I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go over here and draw on it just like that. So you can see I've layered it. And that kind of looks like, you can make it whatever you want, but of course those kind of look like maybe the side view of the ground or something like that. So we'll do a little something like this. We'll do that. Now we can go a lot further than that. We're just being super simple today. And I'm going to push done. And look what we have now. Wait for it. There it is. I've got my environment. And I can move him around. Oh, he's going off the screen. That reminds me. Let's do this real quick. Let's go into scene. And let's do, is it scene? Yeah. Camera follows sprite. We're going to pop that in there. So there you go. Look at that. By the way, if you don't want to call it new sprite, by the way, you can actually call him Astro. Okay, good. I think I spelled that right. Good. All right, so now and I can go in and I can just set my sprites always. They need to all be the same, of course, when you do that. But later on, when you start setting different sprites for different things, you know what you're talking about. You don't just have my sprite 1, 2, 3900. You can call it whatever you want to be. But you can see I've got a little environment, but he floats like around in the middle of this environment. So we want to go back into our tile map. And some of you did this with the first tutorials probably, but you can turn that into a wall. Did you guys do the first tutorials? Yeah, everybody's nodding, by the way. The studio audience is nodding. So I can go and I'm going to highlight all of these. And this turns into a wall. Basically, that means that a player sprite is not able to pass through. So here we go. Now we have our player sprite, and he's floating there. Oh, I'm actually stuck within a wall. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. So see, I'm moving around. I can move them around with the buttons. But now I think you see what's happening here, right? I have the beginnings of what they call in the video game world a platformer. It's called that because generally they're platforms and you jump around on them. But he's not doing much jumping. This isn't too hard. I can just bounce him around there. And even if I push A, nothing happens, but it does have a little fire come out when I push A. So we want to add some gravity to our environment. So we're going to pretend he's on some strange space planet. And I'm going to go back into sprites. And you can do all sorts of things to set tributes to your sprites or different features about your sprites. So we're going to do this set my sprite, bring him in here. We're going to, of course, call him the astronaut. And I'm going to set AY acceleration. So that's acceleration on the y-axis, which is the vertical up and down axis. And we're going to set it to, you might want to play around with this, but I'm going to set it to 200. Now I've just given us some gravity. Watch this. Whoa, if I push up, he goes up. Then push up on it, he goes up, but then he comes back down. Whoa, he comes back down. I've made gravity. There's no gravity. All right. Now he's moving up and down. I want him to move, though. I want him to basically be able to jump when I push the A button. So notice this move astronaut right here with buttons. I'm going to push plus, and it's going to show us some options. So we have the VX. That's the velocity for the x-axis. That means going side to side. I want to get rid of up and down, so I'm going to push 0. So now what happens is he'll go side to side, but up doesn't do anything. He just falls. So what do we need to do? We need to do something that will allow him to go up when we push the A button. So we're going to come down here, and you see these guys, it says on A button press. We're going to find more things to happen than just change that. Let's go into sprite now, and then we're going to say, we're going to change my sprite because we want to change its set. And instead of acceleration, we're going to go to velocity. And we're going to say, let's say 100 to start off with. So watch what happens now when we push the A button. Two things are going to happen. One, the little fire is going to come out of his jetpack. And that's going to be cool. And two, he's going to jump. I hope. Oh, wait, what? Programming error? Uh-oh. Well, isn't this embarrassing? What happens when you go live in front of the studio audience? What did I do? Oh, you see what I did? I didn't change my sprite to astronaut. That's the thing, though. I do need to go ahead and set that. And that may look like it was a hassle, and yeah, we could have just left it at my sprite. But when you start getting into a full-on game that you've developed, and you have 30, 40 different elements in there, you want to be able to label it, know what you're talking about so you can read your code. All right, so watch. Here he goes. He goes off to the side, and then I push A. Wait, that's not A. There's A. Push A. Oh. Well, I didn't do much. That's why I don't look that inept. All right, sprites. Hang on. Change my sprite. Here's the deal. I got it. Velocity, Y. Not 100, because 100 is down. Negative 100. Change that to astronaut. And yes, look, there he is. Yes, I'm sure you're applauding at home as well. All right, awesome. So look, we've made a simple platformer. It's not too special, but it does show you how to interact with your environment. So that is your your tutorial for this. You go, you do something creative, and you have fun with it.